theaters might
Never seen
actually
it.
ban the Minecraft movie after this happened. Movie theaters are sick and tired of people pulling the fire alarm, forcing an evacuation out of movie theaters, even on screens that aren't playing the Minecraft movie. They're sick and tired of people making unannounced speeches, people shouting out
Hey,
things.
Segovia, back with another video. Hope everyone out there is having a good start to the week, y'all. We got a good one. This is a damn good compilation I put together. I ain't even gonna lie, y'all. When I was putting this together, I was like, this is the one. This is the one I've been waiting for. Sometimes they're hit or miss, y'all. Sometimes, but we're our own worst critic, right? You guys love it, so I need to love it. But this one, I felt like we got some good stuff we're gonna get into right here. I ain't gonna talk too much. Enough with the chit chat. Let's do what we all came here for. Let's go and get into the reaction. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
I've never seen in my whole life seen so many music stars just start normal and then start looking like satanic. And that's when I was really like, this is tripping me out.
Right.
Pop people. Doja Cat. She's a nice girl from the valley. Sam Smith. Justin Timberlake's last video. And I talked to a lot of people in the music business, and they talk about how the frequency of music changed in the early 40s to different megahertz and how it can be hypnotic.
We know that Polaris, the North Star, is right over the North Pole. And it just so happens that it's fixed and it stays over the North Pole. So we know that. And then when you look at time-lapse pictures of space, all the stars are rotating around Polaris. I mean, people say that, you know, the belief that we're in some kind of enclosed system or dome is retarded, but they still can't explain how is space an infinite vacuum. It's the opposite of this. We have gas pressure here. You can't have an infinite vacuum and gas pressure without some kind of barrier. It's impossible. I mean, who knows? Maybe all this Trump, Epstein, Q, maybe all that is a distraction from the real truth. And the real truth is what we're on and who made this.
There are no coincidences when it comes to this system. It was deliberately built, but I think it was deliberately built to be detected. And I think we were naturally supposed to figure this thing out maybe as late as the 1970s, but the government figured it out first, and they have been spending a heck of a lot of money trying to keep it a secret.
Hey man, till somebody sue this woman, Jaguar Wright, I'ma believe what she say, bro, cause she just be doubling down. No, allegedly, like what she saying about 50 Cent, bro. I've been saying this for years, but nobody wanna listen. Everybody is fooled by his persona and what he give off. Listen to this though.
It seems like 50 Cent is trying to take down Diddy.
No, he's trying to move Diddy and Jay-Z out the way so he can run it. And the truth is, I ain't mad at him. I just don't trust him. Because the truth is, he would just be another kind of monster.
Well,
in another kind of way. He don't want things to change. He just want to be the one that's running it. See? Easiest thing to do is to take your enemy's feet and hold them to the fire for things you know that they won't admit. Which is why when that C&D came out, he took all of that Diddy shit down. Because of his tape.
to run it, you have to.
Even just in the last day, I've had a few people like sending me videos of fights that it seemed like in the video it was Big U and Eric Holder involved in these videos. Like they may have been closer than certain people have led us to believe.
Absolutely involved in Nipsey's situation, and people, they don't want to say it, they're scared to say it. That's fine, I'll say it for you. He was involved with the Nipsey situation, and I want to let the detectives, because they're supposed to reopen Nipsey's case. That's what I was told.
Oh, wow. The North Sentinelese tribe, who were recently visited by U.S. tourist Mikhailo Viktorovich Polyakov, are legally allowed to kill anyone who steps foot on their island. The tiny island located in the Bay of Bengal is home to around 50 to 200 of what is considered to be the world's last pre-Neolithic tribe. The Indian government has made this area an exclusion zone to protect them from outside illnesses to which they have no immunity, but also to protect outsiders from...
I'm getting reports, they've even called it turbocharged cancers.
Yes, I've heard that phrase.
Right. I'm getting reports of that now, that people that have been in remission before are now getting back the cancers and very rapidly progressing. So if you really think about what the cause of cancer is, I did a piece with Sanjay Gupta many, many years ago on 60 Minutes. And I said, the cause of cancer is not the rapidity of its growth, but its inability to die. And its inability to die is because it either hides from the cells that matter, i.e. your natural killer cells, your T cells, or, and this is what I'm really worried about, your body and the cancer has found a way to suppress your killer cells. And once they do that, once they activate what you call the suppressor cells, and you call yourself immunosuppressed, then I think you see this rapid progression because there's nothing stopping them.
Just out visiting San Diego, right down there's Tijuana, and I want to tell you about the smelliest beach in America. It is right here, because you don't want to get in that water. Guess what's in that water? Sewage from Mexico. And it literally smells like you're in a sulfur pot out here. The smell is horrific. California's got a SHIT beach right there. PSA here. You want to come to a shitty smelling beach? Imperial Beach right here. Yep, there's warning signs all around here. Do not get in that water, because Mexico is right behind me. And Mexico apparently drops up all their sewage into this water. So this is an ocean full of SHIT, and you can only imagine what it smells like out here. It smells like I'm in a sulfur pot up in Yellowstone. So PSA, don't come to this beach.
Nobody at that
Who's
beach.
the worst celebrity that you've been around is like the most full of sin? I know no sin is greater, but like just was like, damn, this
Clive Davis. Devil incarnate. Clive Davis. Janis Joplin. He blackmailed Betty Wright so she wouldn't tell anybody that he Janis Joplin. He killed Whitney Houston.
Those guys will never get taken down. The Diddy's, the R. Kelly's, the Bill Cosby's are pawns, y'all. These guys run the show. They write the checks. Follow the money. They always say it. But who writes his check?
I often laugh when they say that like Jay-Z and Beyonce are in the Illuminati. I'm like, no, they're not. They're being paid by the Illuminati. They are not in the Illuminati. If you know a celebrity and you think that they're in the Illuminati, like, absolutely not. They are
true, y'all.
in there.
That's a good way to put it.
If you know one. Like, I don't think that organization would be stupid enough to go, yeah, let's put Jay-Z or Beyonce or fucking Brad Pitt or whatever famous celebrity, because they don't want fame.
Who's the best at remote? Is there one person that's consistently accurate?
Joe McMonigal is probably the best one alive today. He described a structure, and he described a ship that was being built by the Russians, which was a super submarine in a hangar somewhere. And the Navy just laughed at him. They said, "That's crazy. It's in a hangar, away from the sea. So why would you build a ship, when you don't have the ocean?" Well, it turned out he was right, and it was a super class, new Soviet submarine. He described the inside of the building, which had no windows and so on, and. Yeah, I mean, from a satellite, they could see the building, but they couldn't see inside the building. He described what was inside the building. He described the submarine. He described the length, and he actually measured it psychically. And that turned out to be right. And then when the submarine was built, they brought some bulldozers, and they dug, a channel to the sea, and off it went.
Is David Blaine Jewish? I'm going to look it up right now.
No shot.
Early life. Every time, wallahi. David Blaine was raised in Brooklyn with the Russian Jewish ancestry. Every time, they're like what, 0.3% of the population? What about Harry Houdini? Let's see. That's the best of all time, right? The GOAT? Houdini's not even a Jewish name. It's an Italian name, right? Harry Houdini, Eric Wise, was born in Budapest, Republic of Hungary, to a Jewish... Not even that. His parents were Rabbi Mayor Samuel Wise. A rabbi. Isn't that nuts? Okay, David Copperfield. He probably changed... A lot of them changed their name. Even Harry Houdini changed his name. His real name is Eric Wise. They go undercover. You know Jonah Hill's real name is Jonah Felstein?
Well, David Copperfield doesn't even do that kind of magic.
Oh, David Copperfield!
You swear to God?
Copperfield was born in New Jersey, the son of Jewish parents, Rebecca Cotton.
You're onto something. I can't even lie. Look.
See, it's not tricks. This is Jewish Kabbalah. We can't do this on Snapchat, by the way. This is like...
Oh, so you can do it on my kick, but you can't do it on your Snapchat? You can fuck up your child out? You can fuck up my kick?
Do you want me to sub?
And how many like hours? How much you get an hour? 25, right? 25 bucks. Hey, you know what? I would do some crazy shit for 25 bucks.
People don't believe that people get out here and they charter buses to do their protesting. They pay protesters. We got two full on. No, there's no Trump on there. They're just paid protesters. Crazy.
So this, I always wondered, like, who goes out there and protests? Like, I don't know. I don't understand the mindset. Like, maybe some of them, I'm sure some of them are authentic, but like, why? What is this going to accomplish? It never accomplishes anything when you go out there and protest. Nothing. Those people are just standing out. Like, say they go protest at the state capitol. Those people in the state capitol are looking out, like, drinking their coffee and probably pointing, laughing at them. Like, what's the point of protesting, y'all? I don't understand it. Doesn't do nothing.
Received an offer from the DNC for $20,000. Guidelines, a script, and even talking points on how I should criticize Trump and conservative media. Now, I said no, but before I did, they're probably going to get really pissed off for me putting this out in a video, but honestly, I really don't give a fuck. You should have chose to watch my content instead of assuming that I would do the dirty work for you. But I really wanted to get some insider information and a full rundown as to what the contract actually consisted of, which is a contract for 1 year, and I don't really know who the fuck would do a 1-year contract for $20,000, but anyways. But to not only create a Discord, but to also link up with other DNC creators. I got the rundown of which creators are actually involved with these contracts, and it's really interesting to see some very familiar names. And the talking points in themselves are just so fucking cringy, dude. I couldn't even look at them with a straight face. But see, the most ironic part about these contracts is the fact that the names that just so happen to be at the head of these management agencies are some of the same exact names that were involved with conservative media. And I know this because I was also offered a contract last year by conservative media, which I also did not take. I have not monetized myself since January of 2024. I do all this shit for free if you didn't know. But see, the names at the head of all of these agencies actually lead to very specific organizations. I'm not even sure if I could say the name of one of those specific organizations out loud on TikTok without this video getting taken down. I really want to bring awareness to this shit. So instead, I'll be listing it in the comment section down below. But I just want everybody to know, this shit exists. This shit is very real. But regardless of how you want to feel about it, I just want you to know there are two sides to the same exact coin, people, okay? And I'll give you a prime example as to how you can tell. And that is by looking at the 2008 financial crisis, and then looking at how our economy is being affected right now by these tariffs. Because in 2008, guess who had a shit ton of money to be able to invest into stocks that were plummeting? It's not a difficult answer, because they literally bragged about it during that time period. Guess who has tens of millions, if not billions of dollars to be able to invest in these stocks that are plummeting now? Once again, not a difficult answer at all. Don't you remember how they interacted with each other at Jimmy Carter's funeral? That should have proven enough to you, but still, you allow yourselves to become deceived. When in actuality, you should be holding everybody accountable. But yeah, I just wanted to put this out into the open so everybody knows what's really
People get mad at me.
There's no technology in China. What are they talking about? China is still a third world country.你和我，中文说得很好。你和我，这个多少钱？这个
25万到33万。
真的吗？
哎。
你和我。Even the taxi drivers in China, yeah, they use electric cars. They've even got a sky train. 66666，我的天哪，厉害！And a bloody robot waiter. So I'm blown away. I can't believe how developed China has actually become in the last, let's say, 20 to 30 years. Crazy. What's you know this shit?
Oh Lord, this is getting out of hand, guys. Donald Trump has just posted, and he said that China has until tomorrow to take back their 34% tariffs that they placed on all American goods yesterday. And if they do not withdraw them, then Trump will impose an additional tariff on China of a staggering 50%. And that will come into effect on April the 9th. If this is not a trade war, then I do not know what is. He said additionally, so it's not just the tariffs, all talks with China concerning their requested meetings with the United States will be terminated as well. So he will say 50% and we're not talking to you. What timeline have we stepped in that this is a reality? Wild.
My last video, you saw this, where she presses the button and it puts her in some new realm or whatever that is. We found out what it is. You lot been saying in the comments. Nubbin. And this is the trailer or something like that.
Here are some places Nubbin can take you. Explore nearly forgotten memories.
Mad.
Star in classic movies.
Mad.
Play the most immersive games ever
Mad.
known. Explore endless galaxies.
Mad.
Revisit old loves.
Mad.
And even find new ones.
Mad. You can actually buy it. There's a website and everything.
Can take you.
Nubin.
Explore.
Nubin is a thing.
Nubbin can take you.
Oh my lord. You lot, are you grabbing this or are you passing? Let me know. This is mad.
So I'm not sure if you've heard by now, but Kentucky is dealing with a very serious and major flooding issue, and it's only going to get worse as the river continues to rise. This is a picture of the Buffalo Trace Distillery submerged underwater as of today, April 6th.
Bro, there's no way.
Like, that's so much work just to throw the trash. Thing probably weighs, what, 10 pounds? Looks like boxes in there.
Bro, we are slaving away over here.
I'm tripping out on this dude.
My guys, you gotta.
It's just too much work. Chick-fil-A.
Oh man, we're getting soft.
Am I famous on here?
Yeah, I mean, right now you're famous. We got like 24,000. What up, yo?
24,000?
Yeah, 24,000, man.
24,000.
Is there anything that you want to say? You want to say anything to these people, man?
Stephanie Ann Johnson. Look at that.
Who's that?
Look it up.
Stephanie Ann Johnson. Is she a porn star? Who's Stephanie Ann Johnson?
I don't know how many of you
Who is that? Let me know down below.
With Sloan Bella. She is a psychic medium, and she's predicted quite a few things that have actually come true. She predicted the Diddy downfall, and right now she is saying that we really need to be praying for Justin Bieber. Like, it is getting serious. And someone like myself who's in recovery, I see all the signs with him. It is getting serious. We need to be collectively praying for him because it is a mess. So please pray.
Now look at this. Look at this. Where is the owner of Dollar General? Where is the owner of Dollar General, bro? Look at this, bro. Look at this, bro. This is what happens when you want to pay people $8, $9 an hour, $10 an hour. You have stuff that don't get put up. You see it? Look at this, bro. They got aisles full of stuff. Like, look at this, bro. Don't know who finna stock this for $8 an hour.
Real.
Who?
Did you know that? Like, it's getting out of hand, y'all. The price of living, it's been getting out of hand, right? It's not just happening, but the price of living to these jobs, like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, you start thinking, like, man, I'm not gonna sit here all night stocking a dollar store, and they're paying me $8. Like, I just, like, I'd see, like, I can go flip stuff out the garbage to make this. Give me a month, I'll make what I make in a month over here. I can go to the thrift shop. Like, there's so many different things now. There's so much knowledge on TikTok, on YouTube, on all these social media apps telling you how to make money, and they work. Some of them are nonsense and whatever, but some of them work, y'all. I'm telling you, some of them work.
Invented labradoodles wrote an apology letter to the world. He said they have health problems and personality disorders, and he never should have unleashed this unholy species on mankind. This is Theo. And Theo eats about 2 rolls of toilet paper per week, and he needs a pill every morning and every night, or he'll die. Say hi to the people, Theo.
Well, we got some footage coming out of California of a strange orb-like plasmoidal thing floating through the sky. And notice in the background here, everyone is just standing in the street staring up at this thing stump. And if you can listen to the background as well, you can just hear everyone kind of perplexed about the whole situation, right? As this bright light tends to dim down, it's moving across the sky, and then it begins, and then it stops. So it's not going up, it's going sideways like this, okay? Not vertical, horizontal. That's the word I was looking for, right? And then it turns into this plasmoidal orb. And we've seen something similar to this that was in China. If I can find a video right here, okay? This is the same exact object that was seen. No noise associated with it. And it's just carrying on and floating by, right? Unbelievable. And look, as it's there, it's just kind of slowed down. Now it's kind of stopped. It's moving very slowly. Again, when it comes to these sightings, this isn't the first time we've seen something of this nature, okay? I mean, the people are probably going to be like, it's a flare, it's nothing else, but there's no sort of like flare. A, that doesn't make any noise. B, it's not going vertically, it's travelling horizontally through the sky. It's actively moving through the clouds. It's going like that, and then it slows down, and then carries on, right? Look at it. That is insane. Orb? I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. I thought this was hella interesting. California, come on, man.
Yo, we are straight up. Oh my god. Okay. Oh, this is really dangerous. Oh my god.
Crazy.
Come out of nowhere and invite me. Oh my god, right? Oh my god, Ash is getting my eyes. Yeah, it's bad. Ow.
He brought up the Shroud.
Okay, we're gonna go down a little rabbit hole in these next few clips. I went down this rabbit hole last night. I don't know, one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen, y'all. Tripped me out. And another funny thing, when I'm downloading TikToks, I send them to my email, right? And then from my email, I download them to my laptop because I do it on my phone to send to my email, and then from my email on my laptop, right? And one of these clips, the TikTok, like when you download a TikTok, it has like a serial number, kind of like TJ123857, whatever, right? One of these clips, it was TikTok, some numbers, and it said Jesus, y'all. And I got chills through my body. Getting signs, y'all, getting signs. But check this out, y'all. This is crazy. I never heard about this until I was doing my videos yesterday, and I went down a rabbit hole on it.
Yeah. And I always thought that was fake. It's like in the 80s.
What is that,
in
Eddie?
the shroud, it's like the cloth that Jesus was buried in and left an image of him.
Uh-huh.
And in the 80s, like 1988, they did carbon dating on it. And they go, oh, it's fake. See that?
Yeah, it literally has the image of Jesus burned into it somehow or another.
I never looked into it. I just figured it was fake. But listening to you and Mel Gibson talk about it, I'm like,
it's
what?
real?
Is there?
Well, apparently it's a lot older than they assumed when they did the first testing. And one of the problems is there's cross-contamination. There's also been repairs to it. But they did subsequent testing, and they found that it was like 2,000 plus years old.
Yeah, and the one thing, it's the most studied artifact ever.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Like particle physicists, nuclear engineers, they all studied it, and some of them, some believe in it, some don't believe in it, but they all agree on one thing: no one knows how they did it.
Right.
There's
no one knows
paint,
how they made it.
There's no paint. There's no dye. So, dude, all this week, all day, I'm just watching documentary
And the
after
thumbnail, y'all. Check out the thumbnail.
podcast on this shit. It's mind blowing.
Yeah.
Not that I needed proof he existed, but shocking new research on the Shroud of Turin, the 14-foot cloth many believe Jesus was buried in, has unveiled very intriguing new discoveries. Recent wide-angle X-ray studies have shown details consistent with a death by crucifixion, revealing a man who experienced a tragedy aligning with historical accounts. This advanced technology also provides a more accurate dating method, suggesting the shroud could date back to approximately 2,000 years. Additionally, the imaging indicates that the image on the shroud is not a painting, but results from complex chemical reactions involving linen fibers and human blood. The evidence on the shroud aligns with the wounds described in crucifixion, including scourge marks, nail wounds, and even a crown of thorns. These findings have added new dimensions to this massive debate,
This is an exact replica of the face from the Shroud of Turin. While AI and other tools can enhance the image, they often lose some of the original expressions. To ensure authenticity, we've superimposed the shroud face back onto the enhanced model and manually integrated its details. What you see here is not just a face. It's the most accurate depiction of the Shroud Man, aligning with what a first-century Jewish Nazarene would have looked like. Computer model analysis confirms Semitic features and even a Hebrew Nazarene hairstyle, consistent with the time of Jesus. Every field of science that has studied this burial cloth overwhelmingly supports its authenticity. This face will portray Jesus in the upcoming episode of John 3, where he meets Nicodemus. Here are some screenshots and still images from that animation coming soon.
So we're
I'm gonna make a TikTok of I told you guys how that TikTok said it. Now it doesn't say it for word, but I even had Mama Bear come up here and I was like, what do you think of when you see it doesn't spell it, but it's spelled but not in order? She said Jesus. Clicked on it, boom, it's the face. I'm gonna make a TikTok of it. But I don't know, y'all. Something in me for a long time now has been telling me to get back into finding more faith and learning more about all that. And I've gone to church and and they tell you to pray. I've seen I had my eyes closed and I was in a dark room. I've said this before on the channel. I was like in darkness and then there was a door and that door was bright, like light. And then you can just see the outline of Jesus, which was pure dark, but you can see the robe, the hair, you just knew what it was, right? And he had his hand out to me like that. And then I just opened my eyes and like I was like, maybe, I was looking at a light and when I closed my eyes, I just saw and it was gone. Didn't see it again. But it gave me chills again when I saw that. But something's in me, like, and then seeing that and going down this little rabbit hole and then seeing the TikTok thing, just little signs like that, y'all. But what do you guys think of that? Let me know down below, y'all. I'm gonna make that TikTok. Segovia Reacts is my TikTok. Go over there and check it out. I don't really do a lot of stuff over there, but I post sometimes. So
seriously awesome videos of what looks like for entertainment purposes only, motherships off the coast in the Gulf of Mexico, possibly also known as the Gulf of America. I don't know where we're at with that. I'm not sure if that's final or not. You let me know. I haven't kept up on that. But either way, I want you to see these videos because it's really awesome. They caught it, a few people caught it on the live cam that overlooks the ocean. And then they're also seeing them pop up in other places over the ocean, which I think is really funny because if you watch Bashar, I totally watch Bashar. I am weird in a lot of ways. If you follow me, you know this already. If you don't, welcome. Hello. Anyways, Bashar said that what they were going to do was they were going to start showing themselves slowly, and then they were going to show their bigger ships off the coast and just like sit there so that we could see them, but we would know that they weren't aggressive and we would know not to be scared because we could just, sit there and see that they're not doing anything. They're just saying, hello, we're over the ocean. So check out these videos. I don't know about you, but I'm super excited about this because it seems like they're getting closer. And these ones, because it was recorded on that beach cam, I mean, you really can't fake a beach cam. Plus, they look really real. I mean, AI is amazing. You can do a lot of things with AI. It makes it very difficult, but I think they're real. My opinion. Anyways, I was really excited about that. Okay, let me know.
What the fuck happened to Jenna Ortega, y'all? This the same girl that played Wednesday? The same girl that was on a Beetlejuice movie? Y'all trying to tell me that's her? If so, that's crazy to me, y'all. She look different. Am I tripping? Look at the picture, y'all. Look at her jawline. It is a little sharp still, but look at her jaw. Look at her eyebrows. Look at her whole head. Come on, y'all. That is night and
Oh,
day.
dang, yeah, it
Can't
is.
y'all see the difference? What, she got a whole makeover or some shit? Nah, I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
her jaw
y'all.
is real
I'm
square
not
now.
crazy, but that don't look like Jenna Ortega to me, y'all. Look, I know people change. I know people grow up. I know they change their hairstyle, hair color, but her whole face is different. All I'm saying is, y'all know how Hollywood is. The crazy thing is, I'm not the only one that's saying this. It's numerous of people saying it. And she's been quiet. Quiet as of late. Like, not a peep. And she's normally not that quiet. Y'all can call it glow up, grow up, all you want. I'm just saying, that ain't the Jenna Ortega I know.
But there's 3 people involved in this, and there's a phone call from a female prior to this happening. This man, this person, this musician, this father, son, brother, uncle, cousin did not choose to pass away of his own volition, period, end of conversation. Like, just period, no, that is not what happened, and people know it. They love saying it because it gives them a feeling. Now, he's talking about right there, he just like, I literally got a flush of energy through me. He's talking about when he passed, he was so fucking angry that he crossed over, okay, which is very, very fitting of an Aries energy person because they are here to work out their anger. But when he crossed over, he's showing me, this is what he's showing me. I've seen this with a few other people, showing me leaving the physical body, okay? Immediately going out and being pushed or moved very fast, very fast. Think of an airplane, think of a car moving very fast and very sideways. And he's showing me that at first he didn't know which way he was going, but when he stepped out, that's how he words it, stepped out on the other side where he ended up, he was met by cousins and uncles. I'm hearing that. So I don't know which one of his uncles passed away and cousin right on the other side as he crossed out. He was immediately sort of shifted energetically to focus differently. And then, as is the case with certain people, the energy has to be brought back to a neutrality. Chester knows what happened. The soul was not in confusion when it passed. It was pissed off because this is not what was supposed to happen. He was showing certain things and he chose to stand up for himself, and they chose to take the credit from him, take the information and silence him. This is a mafia hit. Think of the mafia movies. Think of all of those movies. Think of John Gotti. Think of that. That is what this is.
Linkin Park lead singer Chester Bennington's son has come out saying that he believed his father was killed. For the longest time, he was a firm believer that his father committed suicide like it was reported, but I just found a video and I messaged him asking if I could use it, and I got confirmation. But he made a video saying that he believed his father was killed for a purpose and he will continue to investigate this. I'm going to add a couple clips here, just make sure you watch them.
My name is Jamie Bennington. I'm 27 years old. I am the firstborn son of Chester Bennington, and over the last 6 years I've gone from a firm supporter of his suicide to someone who's absolutely convinced that he did not take his own life, and that instead he was killed by something or someone for some purpose. And I will be investigating that until I find the truth.
And also, like, why does Kanye get to say my dad was killed, but I don't?
Chester left for California in 2013. How about a year later, he had been recruited successfully by the district attorney's office of Orange County and pioneering an anti-human trafficking task force effort.
Fucking
60% market share this week on the charts.
He sued Universal Music Group for, streaming farms and all that. I said it 5 years ago, like, this is all, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's all streaming farms, it's all fucking fake Spotify numbers, all that shit is fake. Like,
that's what I'm saying, though. So I was making, like, a parallel to streaming.
So if you're an artist right now, if you not botting, you probably losing. You gotta bot. Like, yo, if the whole game is botting.
Labels bot you to like. So let's talk about Ice Spice, right? Yeah. Like, cause we part of the same label, so I can't give no other example. Labels will pay you to keep your what is it called,
your clout or social
your social appearance to the public. Like, yo, look,
at one point Ice was lit.
Yeah.
Like, yo, she was getting more likes than like Nicki Minaj on the gram. She was like, I ain't gonna lie to you, if we're going by numbers alone, I'm like, yo, she might.
It was wild that I didn't know how close my own wife was to the Clintons.
That you were married to her?
And well, I was married to her.
How close was she to the Clintons?
I mean, cell phone away, like, or hey, tell Ye to say this away, or hey, go out and use your platform to push the vaccination away.
I think we jumped timelines again. Today the news is Val Kilmer passed away. I specifically remember in this movie Maverick right here, though, he passed away. I know he was Iceman and he had the same throat thing or whatever, right? But I specifically remember, dude, at the funeral thing, and then they had like a little tribute after. And I know it's for somebody else, I've already looked at it, but I swear it was saying like Val Kilmer, yada, 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 passed away. So I was like, oh, he attends a funeral serving as a tribute to the complex relationship, you know what I'm saying? Right here, he had the same throat thing like this, but I swear, man, I remember even seeing stuff like this right here when that movie Maverick came out, or before it did, because either he had passed away like during filming, or it was right after filming, so he couldn't be there, so they added the little tribute to it. But see, if you check it now, though, it says it's the Tony Scott, man. I'm telling you, man, something's really weird about this, because I really do, and I'm not just joking or making a video to get views. No, seriously, does anybody else remember this?
Movie theaters might
Never seen
actually
it.
ban the Minecraft movie after this happened. Movie theaters are sick and tired of people pulling the fire alarm, forcing an evacuation out of movie theaters, even on screens that aren't playing the Minecraft movie. They're sick and tired of people making unannounced speeches, people shouting out things during the movie, disrupting the film for all, and people doing cartwheels and backflips to impress the audience members. And also throwing popcorn and trash in the theater, which we all have seen many times already. And because they keep on having to pause the movie and either ask people to leave or turn the movie off entirely, there's a chance that it could get banned from theaters. Also, the theater companies want you to know that you are not Steve, which isn't true.
Like, I can only like, it's, I don't get the mindset of this young generation that ruin everybody else's time and not care so they can try to go viral. And now it's just going to keep happening because it's gaining. Look, it made it on our reaction channel, so people are going to see that and be like, "This is what we're going to do at the theater. We have to do this." So it's just not going to stop. It's just going to keep going. But I just don't get how people walk into a Walmart and just start cussing and breaking things to go viral, not even thinking about, man, there's little kids here. Like, you're going to terrify them. Like, I don't understand the mindset of this young generation that just do things to get clicks. Like, you don't got to do that to get clicks. Like, doing that, it's not going to last. You might get one clip that goes viral, but that's it, right? It's not going to last.
We are all Steve. Theaters are posting this as a last and final warning before the movie could possibly get banned, asking people to not yell chicken jockey during scenes.
You're going to go ruin everybody
and to
else's
not shower
time.
their staff with popcorn.
He said, well, why don't he said, I have an envelope here. There's nothing written on it. It's in my pocket. Tell me something about it. So it started out with a really large pyramid. And I said, first thing, words out of my mouth was, this must be a new discovery. And he said, why do you say that? I said, because it's huge. It's bigger than the Pyramid of Giza. Must be a new discovery somewhere. And then he said, well, tell me something about it. That's what I want to know. And so I said, it's got really large rooms inside. It's kind of surprising because the way pyramids are built, that can't be done. You can't have large rooms inside because of the weight of the construction. So it must be some new form of construction. So are you sure this is not a new discovery? And he said, just tell me what I need to know. So I said, well, it appears to be some form of protection of survivors of some cataclysm. And they're in stasis. They're waiting for somebody to come. I said, but I think it's too late. I think they're all dead. And he said, why do you say that? And I said, because I feel like the messages I'm getting are like leftover mental images, things that they pass differently from normal or something like that. So he asked me some other questions. He moved me around in the target and asked me some other questions and things. And it turned out there were 6 specific targets that I was given in that particular case. And all 6 of them, I described exactly what was standing there. And when I say that, I mean what was also pictured in negatives by JPL, Jet Propulsion Laboratory, California. And so I finally said, it's like a special race of people or something. I'm getting humans just like we are, but I'm not so sure they're humans like we understand human, because they're way bigger. So what do you mean? I said they're like 10 feet tall, really huge, but they're proportionately the same and very human-like. So I don't know what's going on here. I said, and the sun looks really weird. And he said, I don't care about the sun. Tell me more what's on the ground. So he was being a pretty good monitor at the time. And so we basically finished the whole line of it. And I came out. I said, what's going on? And I was introduced to these people. And the guy that had brought them was Fred Atwater, my old training officer. So this was, as far as I was concerned, was an active mission because we were still doing remote viewing with the project. And so I said, so where is this? Is this a new discovery or something? And he says, well, Bob's got the envelope. It has a target identified in it. And Bob, oh yeah, I got it right here. And he pulled it out of his shirt pocket and was opened it up as an envelope. Nothing written on it. And so he opened up the envelope, and inside it said Mars, 1 million years BC.
Holy crap! For the first time in over 10,000 years, direwolves are alive and walking the earth again. I know how insane that sounds, but Colossal Biosciences has used ancient DNA and groundbreaking gene editing to bring back the first ever de-extinct animal. Now, I know what you're thinking, they're probably just lookalikes. They're not. These aren't lookalikes. They carry real genetic traits of ancient direwolves extracted from fossils and carefully reassembled gene by gene. How insane is this? This isn't just about bringing back one species, guys. It's about rewriting what's possible for wildlife on the brink. We're talking about restoring balance to ecosystems, protecting biodiversity, and even building resistance to diseases in vulnerable populations. And this is the first step. History has just changed forever.
What do you guys think of that? It's only a matter of time before they start bringing back. I mean, the wolf's a predator, but I mean, we've seen the movie Jurassic Park. Are they real? Are they not? I don't know. They're trying to do the woolly mammoth. Now, that's going to be a trip, right? Seeing a woolly mammoth out there in the plains with big old tusk and full of hair. They can do that. bring these back.
Could these be the sounds of Anunnaki?
Y un globo no es. No se ve como algo extraño. Sí. No, es súper rápido. Una pelota no es, ni un globo. Un globo no es. Eso es otra cosa. Nos estamos acercando.
There's these.
Okay. You know, I'm going to tell you how I can debunk that. Unless this is just a regular occurrence on the daily in Colombia. But I know if I saw that freaking thing come out of the ground in the forest, I'm freaking out. I ain't just sitting there filming like, oh yeah, look, it's going fast. Nice. Oh, that's cool. I'm like, what the heck is this? What the hell? Let's get out of here. You know what I mean? Like, that's some things that from a different planet. You ain't gonna be all calm like that. That's how you debunk it.
Some burnt astronaut bodies.
Is that real?
That's real.
No way.
They were part of the Apollo 1 mission. They were going to do a launch test, right?
Okay.
And to make sure everything was working perfectly fine, they go inside, they buckle in, they have their compression suits on, the astronaut suits, they have their helmets, everything, right? Oxygen is flowing, and right away, one of the astronauts point out a weird smell, kind of like sour cream, like sour milk. They stop the test, they check the oxygen, they're like, everything is completely fine. They didn't even know what it was. They kind of forget about it. Then they had trouble with their communication system. So they stop the test again, fix it back, they put it back on. Everything seems good. And out of nowhere, the facility, the people who are making sure everything is good, they see a surge, a power surge happen. And obviously it's like a short circuit. And usually when that happens, it like sparks. And even if it happens in a house, if electricity is not done correct, it could light the whole house on fire. That's when one of the astronauts, he says, fire. What the? And since oxygen was running, it ignited right away. And they didn't die because of the fire. They died because of all the smoke that the fire was producing, and they couldn't breathe. A thing too that to me was a little fucked up as well.
There it is. I was gonna say something, but I can't joke. I can't joke over here, y'all.
Milk of an animal is what they gave us.
Get in trouble from y'all.
Not let other animals feed their cubs unless they are from the same gene. But we, so-called intelligent people, we give our children the milk of a cow. The milk that we get from our mother's breast strengthens our immune system. The society tell us not to drink the milk of our mother. I remember 40 years ago, Nestle milk made billions of dollars.
Pup is going through what he's supposed to go through. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
See, in life, you get so many chances to do right.
True.
And because I've been there, you have so many
K.
chances to do right. If you don't do right, the universe has a way of humbling you.
Oh, I agree with that.
The universe will humble you, dog, more than you imagine. Because as you know, we're all successful, right? You get up certain days, you got your chest out a little bit more. Some days, you know, you treat some people a little wrong, you know. Sometimes, you know, just the way it is, right? But you got to take that moment to say to yourself, yo, I'm blessed. Let's not push this envelope, because God can really take this away from
2
you.
seconds in a minute. That's
And, and if you keep treating people bad, you keep doing violent things to women, you keep being disrespectful, and you didn't figure it out, the universe will make you pay.
I played Roblox for an hour just to mess with it. I registered and told it I was 8. Firstly, it set my content restriction levels to medium. I told it I was born in April of 2017. And it started me off with medium, which was like blood, fear, crude humor, and something else. And then I connected it to a parent account. I wanted to see what the parental controls were like. So I applied all the parental controls. I turned the thing down to mild, which was the lowest one, which still had like blood, fear, and some other stuff. And I, with full parental control restrictions, I encountered the sexualization of young girls in a game called Dress to Impress, which is the #2 game that comes up in this big box at the top of the screen when you first start playing. It's like one of the primary games they want you to play. I told it I was an 8-year-old boy. It turned me into a young girl wearing underwear where I could go dress up and then other people could vote on how good I look. Like, that's the game. And then I went to a game called, I think it was called Rob Mom. And it starts you off in a room, and there's a big sign on the wall that says, the richest person is so-and-so, like, go rob them. And then I walked down the street, there was an Apple store and like a Subway sandwiches. And I went into the Apple store and robbed the Apple store employees. And then the cops came after me and I shot the cops. And then I went into some neighborhood after that. And some character came along and picked me up and carried me into their house and then dressed up as a cop and then shot me in the back. I told it I was 8. Like, I was playing in some of these worlds that are not meant to be creepy worlds. Oh, and then I played a game called Public Bathroom. And I walked into this giant area where there's like a swimming pool with beds around the perimeter of the thing, with multiple people on the beds like humping each other. And then I walked into this like public bathroom thing where you can go in and out of the bathroom stalls together. And then the next room had bathtubs with a bunch of people in them together where you could close the what do you call it? Not the shade, the whatever, the cover, you know, to like have privacy in the bathtub, and they're all like humping stuff in there. And like, I don't know, man. I have a hard, like these guys could, for example, offer a whitelist feature to parents the way that YouTube Kids does. They have a whitelist feature, which means that the parent can pre-select which content, which games, which stuff could be accessed. Like, there's very basic things that Roblox is not doing, which I find very bothersome.
Okay, bro. Many parents out there, kids play Roblox. I know I have some family members that they play it. They play it. I didn't know nothing about it. Like, some like parents are just so busy that it's like something that's so, entertaining to your child, keeps them chill for a while. You're cooking dinner after work. You don't got like you really got to be on your point as a parent, y'all. And with me, I'm a new parent, right? Baby's gonna be 3 months on the 21st, so like it's even hard for me, like, to find time to read to him. I know I always said I would read to him. I know Mama Bear tries to put, a cartoon on if he's crying in the car seat, and I tell her like, no, we're not doing that. Like, we're not giving our baby a tablet to calm him down. Like, just play with a toy, play with a rattler in front of him, and it'll calm him down, right? Let's not get in that habit. Like, when I'm feeding him in the morning, I wake up every morning and I feed him. Mama Bear stays in bed. She's still on maternity leave. So I feed him and I catch him watching what I'm watching on YouTube, right? When I'm feeding him, I'm watching, some dude build something out of wood or something. It's something positive, right? They say bad language and stuff, but I'm not watching like Scarface while I'm feeding him. So, but even then I try to get his attention. Like I pull him up to like, come look at me, or you know what I mean? But like, even just things I always said I would do, like I'm going to read to him all the time. Like, sometimes it's hard to find time. By the time we go upstairs and lay in bed, like, we're exhausted and I don't want to read, but those are things I guess you just have to do and suck it up, that I'm still learning. But even something so simple like Roblox, you have to, play it, or they do these crazy things. You got to remember these are grown adults making these things. So they know, you know, things that kids don't even think about. Like these are grown men and women making these games for kids. So that's already a little kind of suspicious, right? What do you guys think? Parents out there, your kids play Roblox. Did you know about all that? Do you pay attention to those things? And, I know it's hard. I know it's hard. Trust me. I know.
News, one of the most outspoken victims of Jeffrey Epstein is apparently just being hit by a bus and is in hospital. Now, for anyone that doesn't know Virginia Giuffre, she is the one who accused Prince Andrew of a sexual assault, alleging that it happened at the time where she was underage as part of Jeffrey Epstein's trafficking operation. In 2022, they settled that lawsuit outside of court. Now, last night she posted to Instagram saying that she is suffering from kidney failure and has just 4 days to live after a bus hit her at 110 kilometers per hour and it crashed into her car. She said on Instagram, "Doctors have given me 4 days to live. I am ready to go, but just not until I see my babies one last time." The exact location and circumstances behind the crash are still unknown, and this is essentially coming from her Instagram. So outside of that, this whole thing is a little bit strange. We don't know too much about it just yet. So there you go.
Can somebody please explain this to me? What is happening in Kentucky? Because allegedly, how are 10 walls to the dam accidentally opened? I mean, I'm not claiming anything, but how do you accidentally do this? I'm not sure how the opening and closing of dams work, but I don't see how any of that can be accidental. And now this flooding is causing thousands of people to have to evacuate because the flood is ruining people's homes. Some people have even been reporting as missing because of the flood. And don't even get me started on that $10 million funding for mining in Kentucky. Yes, the $10 million grant that is going to fund the mining of critical minerals of 11 states from Tennessee to Maine, with the heaviest focus on these 3 states, Tennessee, Kentucky, and West Virginia. So I have to ask you this. Have you looked at specific locations where these minings of critical minerals are going to take place? They're not too far where all these floods are taking place. They're not too far from the places that these floods are quote unquote destroying because of accidental openings. I am not saying that this was done on purpose. I am not saying that this was intentional. All I'm saying is that that looks rather odd. You know, it's kind of giving Los Angeles fire vibes, Pacific Palisades fire vibes. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a content creator.
What is the one most irrefutable piece of evidence that Atlantis did exist?
The legend of Atlantis originates from the Egyptians. Plato made it famous, but it was actually his distant relative Solon who had visited Atlantis 2,600 years ago. He had said that the Egyptian priest had said that Atlantis was destroyed 9,000 years earlier. And when you add 2,600 plus 9,000, that's 11,600 years ago, which coincides precisely with the Younger Dryas climate catastrophe, where there was a massive shift in temperature on Earth, a rapid into the last ice age. And one of the key details about this is that Atlantis was said to have a river that flowed from the mountains from the north. And so that Atlas Mountains, which is in modern day Morocco, it turns out that the Tamanrasset River flowed at the same period of time of Atlantis up until approximately 5,000 years ago and flowed either directly through the Rishon or just north of it. And there's a fascinating study that talks about the Mauritanian seafloor slide. Is this layered sediment under the ocean? Well, that's further suggestive evidence.
In the airport, and I'm going through TSA, and I get randomly selected for a check. So, I stand to the side, and I think they're about to check me, but the guy asked me for my cell phone. Can somebody explain this to me? Because why do you need my cell phone?
China's about to go nuclear on American intellectual property, and they are not messing around. So intellectual property rights on American design products is really key to allowing America to sell premium products globally. So think iPhone, think Dyson vacuum cleaners, think Microsoft Word. So until recently, China has actually put in restrictions on copying of American goods, mostly to meet international trade regulations. But a couple of days ago at the China State Council meeting, they basically said, we don't care anymore. If you put in tariffs on us, we are just going to open the doors for IP infringement. We're going to copy everything that American businesses create, and we're just going to sell it at like 5 cents onto the dollar. Essentially saying that we're going to undercut all of your products, they're going to become worthless, and the rest of the world is going to benefit. And because China has the manufacturing capacity to do this, they can build American products, American design products at scale. They don't have to circumvent the quality anymore like they used to have to, right? With a patent, you have to go around and make slight alterations so the product isn't as good. But they're now saying, we're just going to copy it one-to-one, and our products are going to be just as good as yours. You design them, we don't care, and we're just going to make the money off it because you're hurting us.
Y'all, what did this guy catch in his backyard? The OP of this video was alerted by his son that there was something in the backyard that their dog was barking at. So the man pulls his phone out and starts recording, and you won't believe all the stuff he captures. The first thing I noticed was right here where the dog is. If you look really close, something white appears and runs through this little treehouse thing into the woods, okay? And it appears out of nowhere. Then the man continues to check the tree line for whatever the dog is barking at. And that's where this makes even less sense because he lives on a bluff. So right there at his tree line, the ground drops off. But if you watch right here, there is something standing there. It looks to be a dark gray color and it looks like it's covered in fur. But the weird part is once it sees the man, it disappears. Like
Which
it
is scary
jumps
too,
off the
shoot.
bluff. The
Something
man
in a
actually
ghillie suit
goes
in your
into
woods?
the woods looking for whatever this is. And at one point you can actually see a shadow walking around in the distance. The man recording believes that there were actually multiple of these creatures out there. What do you guys think this is? Do you think this man just caught Bigfoot on camera? Let me know.
Do you know how much a Chinese factory make for a pair of Nike shoes? $10, which sells 150 on the shelf. A Stanley Cup, $50. The factory gets $1. $1. But when they sell millions of them, that's millions of dollars. And all surplus. That's where the surplus comes from. But for every $1 the factory made, somebody in America is making $49. Who is benefit from the globalization? And think about the pollution the factory has to cause in the local area. Who is benefit from the globalization? I don't know.
That we haven't been to the moon. You believe that? We haven't been to the moon? Yeah. Why is that? We haven't been back. What about Neil Armstrong and all that, no? You see the videos of him saying that he didn't go? You said, yeah. Go look.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure these salt mines are dead giants. Y'all cannot tell me these salt mines are not dead giants. Bruh, this looks like chunks of meat. Are y'all kidding me right now? This looks like bacon or pork chops. This is salt from the mine. This looks like blood. Look at it. Look! This looks like the inside of a body. Look at it. Look at it. Bro, they're all just petrified bodies from giants. Look at the resemblance if it started to become petrified over time. Look at it. Look at this one. This one looks like a woman. Look. Look. They all over the world. Humanoid-looking entities that are in the shape of mountains and islands and caves. Just look at this one. This is the original image. This is what it originally looks like. But then when you flip it to the side, it looks like a body. Look! You think it's stopping humanoids? Nope. This is like a big-ass snake, a big-ass petrified snake. It still got the scales. They call this Gorilla Island. Bruh, look at that big-ass gorilla. Look! Look at it. It's all over the world. Look at that elephant. Look at that turtle. Oh my God. This world is a lie. The whole thing is a lie.
Every day, the world is becoming more godless and demonic. An example of this is Converse rebranding and marketing their entire style by partnering with a guy named Rick Owens. And if you don't know who Rick Owens is, the guy is a complete Satanist. And if you look at the shoe just from a quick glance, it doesn't look like there's anything obvious that they changed. But remember, the devil is in the details. Double Dark Star, that's a very interesting name, but look at this logo right here. This is part of the photo shoot for the advertisement, clearly demonic. Obviously they're trying to market a different look, and now here's the details. Look at that star right there upside down. You can see the star right here, and there it is right there. And I get it, the first response from a lot of people is we're just gonna go ahead and boycott the brand, we're not gonna wear any more Converse. The reality is, my friend, if you look at every single evil that's happening in the world, there's no escaping it. It's in everything. It's in all of our food. It's in all of the branding. It's in all of the governments. The evil is everywhere.
Right.
So unless you want to move off into the mountains and live completely off the grid, that's one option. But I believe the best option is to pray for discernment so you're aware of what evils are happening in the world. There's no stopping the evils that are overtaking this world. It's not going to happen. And the reason is because Satan rules this world. And the only truth that can truly set us free is through Jesus Christ. The arms of the Father are wide open for all of those who call on Jesus in repentance of their sins, knowing that without God, our world is broken. Without God, we are broken.
I went super viral when I said I lost
Still
$7
losing
million.
money, y'all.
I'd kill to be back to losing
Still
$7
stays
million.
losing money.
I haven't even looked. If I had to guess, I'm down in these last 3 days, probably close to 20. I don't know, like 10, 15% of my net worth, poof. But I'm still here. That's the game. That's what I'm in. Like, do I like it? No. Am I crying? Am I like, oh, woe is me. I wish I voted for Kamala. No. Do I wish this didn't go down like this? Yes. Am I in this to make money? Yes. Do I wish I had that money back in my investment portfolio? Yes.
The dragons were real. And I'll explain. But so around the same time period in, China, South America, Africa, all these different, Rome, all these places, images depicted people fighting dragons, right? And every dragon was slightly different, but it was all a giant scaly animal that could fly. So when you break that down, you think about the fact that large birds had a hard time being fossilized because their bones are so porous, right? So because they have like hollowish bones, they break down very easily and they don't fossilize. So the group that says this, basically they're saying the evidence is the reason there's no fossils of dragons is because they had bird bones and they were actually very delicate animals. But a handful of these small population of these giant flying lizards existed and basically encompassed all these different countries where they all depicted fighting dragons in their own way, and they were all killed off by knights or whatever it is, and then didn't fossilize.
Look at this, y'all.
If you want to know the kind of world that we're living in, a couple days ago I did taxes for a dog that made over 20 grand on Instagram last year. So 2025 is the year that we lock in and make our dogs pay our rent. Let's go.
Somebody out there is making money off their dog that just walks around the house with a GoPro on them. You never know. You never know. But anyways, y'all, hope you guys enjoyed today's reaction. If you made it this far, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Second channel's down below. There will be another reaction coming up on that channel. I'm going to do that right after I do this video. So yeah, no really big plans today. I got to wash my car, but I'm not driving it. So wash it tomorrow maybe. I do got to clean my fish tank. I'm still putting that off. I got to clean my fish tank. Got to clean my grill because we're going to cook some steaks today. Those are my two plans, y'all. So reaction, then get going with work. Hope everyone out there has a good day, y'all. This is Segovia. I'm signing out of the Man Cave. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow on the next one. Later.